strange. Okay, ready? On the count of 3, we're gonna say, welcome back to my channel. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Welcome back to my channel. I never thought I would be sitting here filming my return to YouTube video with my little baby. He's more excited about his toes, sorry guys. Anyway, if you are new here, hi, I'm Hayley. If you are not so new here, you probably don't know this unless you follow me on Instagram. But I had a baby and got married. Hence, hello. Okay, I guess I'll do the honors first. So, hi, I'm Arthur. I'm just more excited about other things than the camera. So this is Artie. He is 11 weeks old tomorrow. He was born on the 29th of September, which is 2 days after my 1-year hiatus from YouTube. So I posted my last YouTube video on the 27th of September last year, and I haven't been back since. But a lot has happened. I also sat and filmed this video last night and my content, excuse me, that's not, this is just my life now. I sat and filmed this last night after Arthur went to bed, and for whatever reason my footage got corrupt. So hopefully that doesn't happen again, and luckily, maybe it's just because he wanted to make his debut and I did it without him. So anyway, he's currently staring at the floor. I'm just a basic old person. Old, I'm almost 30. No offense to the old people out there that are over 30. What I'm trying to say is that I'm just your basic, general, now mumma, person that just loves to sit and talk shit. Oh, God, yes. We just like to sit and talk crap about things in life. And if anyone listens, amazing. If not, we're still probably going to do it anyway. Okay, so I guess we've got a lot to discuss. Arthur, where should we start? Should we start with the fact that you are now here? Yeah? You're not that fast, are you? No? Can you say hello? Hello. So anyway, let's rewind back to September, October last year. So just after I posted my last YouTube video, Jacob and I had just been given the all clear. Babies are really floppy. It's like super annoying. Can you just stay there? Thanks. All right, I'm gonna cradle you. Yeah? Or do you want to stand up? Okay, let's stand up. So anyway, Jacob and I had just been given the all clear to start trying to conceive our first little baby. And the reason we had to wait to get the all clear is because I'd been quite sick for a couple of years. I didn't have a period for a little while, and there was no point in us trying to conceive if my body wasn't going to hold a baby. Now, we did have 2 miscarriages before Arthur came along. I'm completely fine talking about them. I didn't know I was pregnant both times, so it doesn't feel, obviously it's still horrible nonetheless. I didn't know at the time until I'd had blood tests taken after both the periods that I had that were really, really bad. And both times I had HCG in my system, so they were put down as miscarriages. I guess I'm gonna take this time to acknowledge all of those women out there that are struggling with fertility and trying to conceive. It is a lot closer to home for me than most people probably know. Myself and my sister have both had issues trying to conceive. It's taken quite a while, but I will say that the conceiving part happened quite quickly for us once we did start. I think we fell pregnant on the 3rd month. It was the preparation in getting there because my body, for whatever reason, wasn't ovulating for a very long time. So I had to have day 21 bloods. I mean, as in like on the 21st month of on the 21st day of my cycle every month, I would go and have a blood test. Excuse me. Thank you. Hello. I would go and have a blood test that would tell me if my body had ovulated, if my levels were all looking good, and for a long time it just wasn't working for me. So it took us a long time to get here, but we're so, so grateful, and we do send out lots and lots of beautiful baby dust to all of those that are struggling. Just know that once you do get to this point in your life, it is just the most amazing thing ever. It doesn't come without, you know, its hardships. Is there something that you want to say? Yeah? That's okay. All right, I'm just going to continue. But it is well and truly worth it, and I just hope and pray that everyone that wants to experience this in their lifetime gets to do so. Yeah. So anyway, Arthur was conceived in January. Actually, Jacob proposed to me in January this year. I didn't know at the time that in December last year we were supposed to be going to Europe. He'd planned to propose while we were in Rome there. So obviously he had to change his plans a little bit. So he proposed to me on the 19th of January this year, and then that weekend we decided to stay in a hotel to celebrate because that was a Tuesday night, so you know we couldn't do a whole lot, but we went out for a beautiful dinner. He proposed to me on the beach down in Cottesloe after. Our best friends were there, so that was amazing. Yeah, and I guess I'll probably do another vlog based on the engagement and the wedding, so I'll put some footage in there. Excuse me. Anyway, so we were very lucky to have conceived Arthur in January, and obviously we didn't know at the time, but on the 31st of Jan, Perth went into its first lockdown, which we'd been very lucky to not have yet. Do you want your dummy back? And funnily enough, that weekend we had actually gone and sat down with all of our parents and told them that we didn't want to wait to get married, and that if COVID was going to continue as it was, and if we were to have fallen pregnant finally, you know, we wanted to be married straight away. We're going to be moving into our brand new home. So that was something that was important to us, and they all said, whatever you want to do, we'll make it happen. And, you know, we kind of said to them, we don't want anything from you, we just want your support. So it wasn't a shotgun wedding at first. And then, so Monday was very different at work for all of us, wearing masks and everything else. You know, like I said, Perth hadn't had to go through that before. On the Tuesday morning, which was the 2nd of February, I woke up feeling like absolute dog shit. And I didn't have morning sickness. I was the opposite end of the strain. So I actually had diarrhea really bad. Sorry, TMI, but whatever. And I thought, well, if I'm going to be in the toilet, I may as well do a test. My boobs were horribly sore, but they had been the months before, and obviously we miscarried, so we didn't know. I'd been doing pregnancy tests. I've got some videos of like when I filmed myself thinking I was adamant I was pregnant, but I wasn't. So I'll probably share them eventually. Yeah, but obviously we were waiting for Arthur. So, you know, and here he is. He decided to grace us with his presence. So anyway, I sat in the toilet, I did the test, but the months before that, I'd actually had some failed tests, like they didn't even load or work. So I thought, okay, I'll put it on the windowsill. And then as I did that, I also was like, oh no, I better just check and make sure it's actually loading. Lo and behold, it was already so positive, like as positive as they come. And I was like, sorry, what? And then I just burst into tears, and I sat there trying to sob quietly in the toilet because everyone was asleep. And it was just the craziest thing I've ever experienced. I didn't think I would react the way that I did, but I was so emotional. Okay, do you want to lay in my arms? Okay. Can you go this way? Go ahead. Here you go. Oh. There we go. Are we going to go to sleep? We're currently in our second leap, and so we've had some very hectic days with him wanting to just lay on me, which is completely fine because I have nothing better to do. But it's so hard. It's so hard trying to figure out what your baby wants. But touch wood, we've been very blessed with a pretty good baby. It's just while he goes through these leaps, he is definitely a lot clingier and a lot sookier. Anyway, back on track. So anyway, my test was positive. My instant thoughts were in lockdown. I don't want to go to work because I work with Jacob. I don't want to tell him at work. I also can't walk out into the kitchen crying right now because Jacob's mum will know something's wrong. I don't know what to do. So I quickly called in sick to work. I messaged Jake and said, I'm not feeling well this morning. And I hadn't been feeling well the night before, so it kind of wasn't a lie. But I was like, I'm not feeling the greatest. I need to go to the doctors. I think I've got food poisoning or something. I'll speak to you soon. So I quickly got online. I found the closest bulk billing appointment that I could get, which was only 20 minutes away. I quickly shoved some clothes in a bag, some pregnancy tests. I put my work uniform on because if I wasn't dressed for work, I knew that people would be suspicious. And I got in the car and I drove to the doctor's. Now, when I got there, I had to sit in the car and wait because we're in lockdown, that you couldn't just go in. They almost weren't going to see me because we were in lockdown and I was a new patient, and I just burst into tears and was like, I just need a blood test. That is all I need. I think I'm pregnant. I need to know if I'm pregnant. She said, okay, that's fine. The doctor will see you. Whilst I was waiting, I FaceTimed my best friend, Nicole, who was also trying to get pregnant at the same time. And she was like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe it's finally happened. I was like, I know. We were still a week before being due for our period. So the fact that I found out as early as I did and my test was so darkly positive, I thought something weird had happened. But with the miscarriages the months before, it makes sense. My dates were probably a bit out. Anyway, so that was it. I got called in. They did a test, said, yep, it's definitely positive. Also, I had to go pee in a cup first and then do the bloods. So they made me go pee in the cup. Whilst I was in the toilet, I FaceTimed my best friend Jody, who you guys have heard a lot about. Jody had her own fertility issues for a very long time. They told her she probably wouldn't have kids. And she has got a 4-month-old little boy called Ridge, and they're already going to be best friends, and it's just the best thing ever to have been pregnant with my best friend. She was in Albany at the time because of the lockdown. She wanted to be down there with her partner Rick so that they could do their scans and stuff together. It was just the best place for her to be at the time. So it was annoying having to tell her over the phone, but I was glad that I got to share that moment with her before anyone else knew. And then I pretty much did the bloods. They said, we'll ring you as soon as we get the results. Said, yep, no worries. And then I sat in the car and was like, well, what the hell do I do now? I can't go home. I just didn't know what to do. I was like, we're in lockdown. I was like, I can't go to work. I can't go home because Jacob's mum will know something's up because I left the house fine. So I drove to my mum's. I was like, if I get pulled over, I'm literally a mess anyway. It'll be fine. So I drove from Cannington all the way up to Butler, which was like a solid almost hour. My mum didn't know I was coming, so she thought that I was at work. Everything was dandy. I parked out on the street, and because she lives in like a townhouse, there's parking at the front and the back, and I knew her garage would be open because I just knew that she'd been doing school drop-off and stuff. So I parked out on the street and I walked down the driveway. I started filming already just in case she was in the garage, and I had three positive pregnancy tests in my hands ready to go. I walked into the garage, she wasn't in there, and the door to the house was locked, and I was like, I'm not just gonna walk in, but I'll knock. So I started knocking, and as I knocked, I heard someone crinkle like a packet, and I could hear whispering, and I was like, she's obviously like, someone's at the door, and she was probably in her pajamas and whatnot. Anyway, she opens the door and she's like, you'll have to go to my Instagram and go to my highlights. So I'll try and link that here because her reaction video almost went viral when I posted it. It was hilarious. But the crinkling of the packets was a packet of baby wipes that she had in her hands. All of her kids are grown up, but obviously because of the grandkids, she still carries baby wipes around. She threw them in the air. The packet hit the roof, almost went through the roof. She was screaming, she was swearing, she was so excited. Now, this is the 4th grandchild for her, but I was the first daughter to be having a baby. So this was just like a dream come true. And I was so excited that I got to share that with her and not over FaceTime. So I basically hung out at her house for the day. You know, she did the typical mum thing. She made me food and all the rest of it. I did more pregnancy tests as the day went on because I still didn't believe it. He's also falling asleep in my arms because he just loves the sound of my voice. Like I can literally sit here and when people are over and just hold him and he falls asleep. It's great. Yeah, so anyway, stayed there for the day. I ended up messaging Jacob and said, I'm at my mum's house. I kind of made a little white lie that turned into not being a lie anyway. So she had a doctor's appointment because she's been going through some crazy things this year, which is another reason why I've just not had the time, you know, to be not wasting, but spending on doing things like this when, you know, we've had like a wedding, a honeymoon, the pregnancy, and my mum having her own things, my dad having his own things, Jacob's parents going through their own stuff, and it's just been really busy. So anyway, I had to take her to the doctor's because her car had broken down. So I said to him, look, I said, I'm up at mum's. I said, she needed help. And anyway, I just said something to him and he kind of like tied him off, and he's like, yeah, that's fine. More so because I went to use my card at Woolworths because I was like, I need to buy like a little outfit, a little teddy, or just something so I can surprise him when he gets home. But obviously everything was shut except for Coles and Woolworths. So I kind of felt bad because it wasn't, I don't know, what's the word? It wasn't like important things, but to me it was. So anyway, we dropped her at the doctor's. My sister and I went into Woolworths, went back and picked her up, and then we went home. I dropped them off, and then I headed home so I could be there for when he got home. And I thought to myself, how am I going to tell him with everyone in the house home and listening and whatnot? So I had washing that I needed to fold, so I actually emptied his underwear drawer, and then I like laid the onesie in there with some dummies and the pregnancy tests. And I'd actually been buying baby stuff anyway because we were trying. So I had the Alphabet Legends basketball book. So I put that in there, a little teddy, and then I just shut the drawer and I thought I'll just sit here on the bed and fold some washing. And then when he comes in, I'll be like, oh, can you just put your undies away while you're here? Which is exactly what I did. And he opened the drawer and he looked up and was like, are you kidding me? And I said, no. And he was like, basically fist pumped and was so excited that we were finally pregnant, and straight away was like, let's go tell mum and dad. So I was so nervous, but everyone was just so excited. I don't think anyone didn't really expect it because we had been trying to conceive, so it was beautiful to share that with them. I might try and put some of the footage in here if I can, but I didn't want this to be a TTC video. It was more of a where have I been, what have I been doing. I got a wedding dress rushed through, which was awesome. It did come and was way too big because the lady stupidly told me I needed to get one like 6 sizes bigger in case I put on a lot of weight or my bump got really big and I needed to cover it. And I was like, whatever, just do it. So I actually spent 15 hours at Jacob's amazing cousin's house, who's a wedding seamstress. She had to pull my whole dress apart and start again, which was crazy, but it just meant that my dress was even more custom and no one else had the same dress. So it was beautiful. So we had the wedding, that all went really well. We got married outside at an orchard, which was beautiful. It was completely overcast. It rained just before I got there and got out the car, so that was good luck for us. Sorry again to everyone that attended. It was freezing, I know, I'm sorry. Anyway, so then we spent the Sunday just sort of like hanging with our family, so excited that we were married. And then on the Monday morning, which was 15th, 16th, the 17th of May, we jumped on a plane and went up to Broome for our honeymoon. So that was really, really cool. I really wish that I had vlogged all of that, but again, I've just enjoyed being present in all of the moments this year. And yes, we've been through some massive things that I would have loved to have filmed and vlogged, but again, I'm annoyed that I didn't, but glad that I didn't at the same time, because it just meant that I got to be completely present, sharing these amazing moments with our family and whatnot. So anyway, so we got back from Broome, that we went up there for like a full week. So by the time we got back, it was almost the end of May. We went back to work, maybe a week or two later, we got told that our house was almost finished. So we made it back in time to go and do our PCI, which is your final inspection. We ended up getting the keys around the 9th of July, which was really cool. Now we had bought all of our furniture and everything before we even like finished building the house, or started building the house, I should say. So everything was just in storage at the shops. So we basically got one of our parents to come and sit for the day and got everything delivered, got the house painted, got our concrete done at the back. I will do like a house, you know, tour eventually. Yeah, so anyway, by the end of July, we were moved in. We were so excited, just taking our time to get everything set up, and so excited by the fact that we also were getting to build a nursery, which was really cool. So Jacob's dad came down, he built all the furniture for the nursery, which was amazing. You know, we had the cane change table and the rattan style bassinet and stuff in our room ready to go, and just seeing that every day was just like I can't believe there's going to be a mini child in here soon. And every day as I got bigger and bigger and more pregnant, every scan we went to just felt more and more surreal, and it just really was amazing. So anyway, we made the decision for me to finish work at 32 weeks because I wasn't preeclamptic, but I had what they call liable blood pressure. So one day my blood pressure would be really low, then the next day it would be really high, and I also had really low iron. So I also had placenta previa, so I was booked for a cesarean from 24 weeks onwards. Which we said that if my placenta moved, they would then present me with the option to deliver naturally or stick with the Caesar. At 34 weeks, I got to have another scan, which you don't normally have, and that was just so cool seeing this massive squishy baby inside me. We didn't know the gender, which was awesome, so we obviously found out when we delivered. At that 34-week scan, they said that my placenta had shifted a touch, but the hole or the pocket that was there for baby to come out of was maybe the size of a lemon, and our baby was already measuring 3 weeks ahead. So they said there is no way your child is coming out of there. They said you might birth the head, but your baby's shoulders down to their belly is in the 97th percentile, so you just won't be able to deliver. And they said, and if you get the head out and the rest won't come out, the whole way that they do it is horrible. They basically have to break his arm and get him out. So we decided to stick with the cesarean. So it was elective in a medical sense, but anyway, it doesn't matter how he got here. So that was all good. We had our baby shower on my birthday, which was the 4th of September. So we did like a baby shower / housewarming. So that was amazing. We had all of our friends and family in our beautiful home. It was just such an incredible day. It still felt so surreal. I was like, I can't believe this is my baby shower. So that was really beautiful. I'd been off work by about 2 weeks from there. I really needed to have that good 5 or 6 weeks off before we were going to have the baby, because I am almost 30 and I've never not worked full time since I was 13, whilst I was still at school as well. So I didn't know what it was like to sit at home in the peace and quiet, doing nothing. Well, not doing nothing, but you know what I mean, like just not going to work every day, or being out having coffee with girlfriends, or lunching and, you know, bottomless brunches and all the rest of it. So it was actually a really beautiful time. Plus Jodie had just given birth as well, so I was able to be there and support her. So I would take coffees every couple of days. I would like fold some washing. You know, I'd watch him so she could go have a shower and wash her hair. It was just a really beautiful time for me to be able to do that. And I just think like that was just the coolest thing ever for me, was being pregnant at the same time as my best friend, but then being there for her when she'd given birth to her baby, you know, in her first couple of weeks. So that was really beautiful. Nicole ended up falling pregnant. She did bleed at first, so unfortunately at first she said, no, I'm not pregnant this month, but that's okay. She ended up FaceTiming me a week later and was like, surprise, I'm pregnant. And I was so mad. My instant reaction, I was like, you lied to me. And she's like, no, I genuinely didn't think I was pregnant. So she obviously had like implantation bleeding. Now, unfortunately, Nicole has miscarried before, so, you know, she obviously wanted to wait until she actually had the scan, like the dating scan, and got the heartbeat and everything before she shared that news, which is completely fine. And then funny story, she was due 2 days after me. So we had the same obstetrician and we were booked for a cesarean on the same day. Now, we didn't end up having our babies on the same day. So, you know, they got to write their own story and pick their days. But I went for my 37-week checkup on the 28th of September, and I didn't leave the hospital until the 4th of October with my baby. So imagine Jacob's face when he gets a text from me saying, in the OB office, you need to come home from work, baby coming tomorrow, ring you soon. And he was like, what? What do you mean? Oh my God, what's happening? Are you okay? I said, I'm fine. My blood pressure was 115 over, no, my blood pressure was, what is it normally? 120 over 80. Yeah, my blood pressure was like 145 over 115, which is ridiculous. Then 2 hours later, it was like 98 over 120. It was completely opposite to what it should have been. It was so stupid. So anyway, they decided it was time to get him out. Now, he was 37 and 3 the day he got delivered, and he was 4 kilos. So firstly, I just want to say RIP to my vagina if I had to birth him naturally. And secondly, they were bang on the whole time about him being 3 weeks ahead. He was basically born at what a full-term baby would be born at. He was just so squishy and so beautiful. I was lucky enough to actually take my camera in and get them to take a bunch of photos of my cesarean delivery. So that was really beautiful, and I'm so grateful to be able to go back to those. You know, when I have doubts where I'm like, I didn't give birth, it's nice to go back to those and be like, honey, you did. So yeah, it was a really beautiful experience. And so he's 11 weeks old tomorrow, and he's 6 kilos, maybe just over 6 kilos. And he's a very long boy. So he's like 60 centimeters already. He was actually shorter than what I expected him to be when he was born, but you guys have seen Jacob. Jacob is like just over 6 foot. He's quite tall. His whole family is tall. So we didn't expect anything less. But yeah, we have enjoyed every single waking moment. It is not easy some days. Today, my dad rocked up and brought lunch and coffee, and I was in the middle of trying to settle him. I have a guy dropping off parcels, and I was just like, just couldn't even talk to them. I was like, sorry, I'm just trying to, you know, try to bottle, tried everything, and he just wouldn't settle. The second that my dad touched him and started rubbing his head, he started falling asleep on me. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? So that was really frustrating. I had the carrier on, I was doing everything, and it just wasn't happening. But anyway, so yeah, as you can see, a lot has happened this year. We feel so blessed and so grateful. You know, we had a beautiful engagement, a beautiful pregnancy, a beautiful wedding. We've moved into our amazing home, and we're just loving making memories and, you know, doing all these amazing things together. I think like we're just gonna chill out now. You know, we've done enough, so that's pretty much it. It's almost Christmas, so that's exciting. My plans for filming and whatnot, I'm not sure. I would love to be able to get a video up every week, but there might be more, there might be less, I don't know. So I guess I'm just gonna take it easy. I had a really beautiful conversation with one of my best friends, actually Nicole, today, and I said to her, you know, I spent so long thinking to myself, I miss filming. I don't know what it is, but I love sitting here and being able to talk about what I'm doing and whatnot. I said, I think you get to a point where you worry what everyone else is going to say and what they're going to think. Are people going to watch? Are they not going to watch? Are people going to get annoyed with my Instagram and like, you know, be like, why is she doing this? Why is she doing that? But it's as simple as the fact that if people don't like it, they won't follow. And you just have to do what feels right for you. You guys remember Matilda, my little sister? She was in my last video. You know, I'm constantly telling her, like, if you start something, you need to follow it through. You need to finish it. And her friends are always like, why aren't you on YouTube anymore? I get messages all the time. Are you going to film a new YouTube video soon? And I'm like, I have like, what, 40 something subscribers? But I have such a beautiful platform on my Instagram, and I love that people, even if it's 1 or 2 people that watch, I couldn't honestly care less. I love doing this. I want to continue doing it. Yeah, so hopefully you'll see our faces a little bit more, but we're just going to enjoy whatever happens over the next few months. I am really enjoying not working, so that's been fun as well. But I hope you've all been keeping well. I hope everyone has an amazing Christmas. I'm currently sitting here today waiting for my pram to arrive. So I will probably be doing an unboxing of my pram, and then also a comparison with one of my friend's prams, because the pram that I bought is the cheaper comparison to hers. But anyway, I originally bought a Red's baby pram, and I loved it for what it was, but I also have to wear a bloody cast at the moment, which I'm obviously not wearing right now because I'm holding my baby, and it hurts him, and I don't like wearing it. But I'm supposed to be wearing it at least 23 hours out of the day. I have de Quervain's tendinopathy in my left hand, so my tendons from my thumb, my first finger, my middle finger, and my ring finger are a bit cooked at the moment, and the nerve that goes from those fingers up to my shoulder is also cooked. Apparently it's like a post-pregnancy thing. It can be quite quite common. But unfortunately, I did present to a doctor with the symptoms at Arthur's 6-week appointment, and she was very just dismissive. So I actually went back to Kalamunda to the doctor that helped us get pregnant, and he was amazing. He's like, why don't you just come see me? I was like, I know. And there was like a 2 or 3 week gap between there, and it had gotten progressively worse and worse and worse to the point where during the night I couldn't even pick Arthur up. So that was really frustrating. But yeah, so I ended up going to have an ultrasound. They called me at 9 o'clock the next morning and said, don't come in for your appointment at 10 o'clock today. Go to Midland. There's a hand specialist we've booked you in with and you need to be in a cast. They wanted to put me in plaster and I was like, absolutely not, I have a baby. So this was the next best thing. It was bloody expensive, but it gives me the ability to still have cuddles, do bath time and all those things, you know, without hurting him. So yeah, that's probably like the most annoying part out of the whole parenting journey at the moment. But other than that, we're having fun. Jacob is just the most amazing dad. It's just so beautiful. Every day he comes home and when Arthur wakes up, they sit and they chat for ages and it's just so bloody cute. I drink a lot of coffee now. I think I used to have like one almond latte a day, sometimes only every second day. I ended up buying a new coffee machine and got the Nespresso subscription. So I think you pay like $50 a month, but then once you've paid it, you redeem that $50 on coffee pods. And so obviously when I bought the machine, I also paid for the first month and I got the coffee pod straight away. And I was like, I'm never going to drink this much coffee. It's just going to build up. And then eventually I'm going to be like, great, now I have all of this credit. I think I've got, what's the date today? The 14th. I have 4 days to go until my subscription rolls over and I'm on the dregs. Like I've got maybe 10 or 12 pods left. And they're like the ones that I saved to very last because they were crap. So if anyone has a Virtuo Plus coffee machine and wants the gingerbread and mint pinwheel flavored pods, holler at me because I will send them to you for free. I didn't like them. But anyway, so yeah, that's us. Hopefully I'll see you soon. If you've sat here and watched, thanks so much for watching. And if you've got any requests on anything you want to know, you want us to chat about, like I said, I can't wait for my pram to come. That will be like my first proper unboxing on YouTube. And the reason I'm doing that is because you guys know the whole reason I started my channel was because there were so many things I come to YouTube to do research with, you know, for real life people that have bought certain products, lived through certain things, gone to certain places to travel. I love doing research, but there's so many things that I'm coming across that I'm not finding videos on for anything. So especially the pram that I'm getting in particular, there is demo videos on it from the company that makes it, and there's like 1 or 2 review videos from years and years ago, but not on like the newer model versus, you know, the pram that is like the most expensive pram that you can buy in the bloody typical brand from Baby Bunting. But yeah, so I figured, okay, cool. Well, if I see a gap, I'm gonna scooch in there and do it because it'll be helpful. But yeah, anyway, I think we'll probably leave it as that. I'm gonna go and put old mate in his cot. He's so sleepy. And I'm like, you know what? They say, don't hold your baby, don't rock your baby to sleep, blah, blah, blah. This only happens once or twice a day if I'm lucky. And it's possibly my favorite thing because all I've done is sat here and talked and he's just fallen asleep. Like, does that mean I bore him? Who knows? Anyway, well, it was lovely to chat with you guys. I'm just gonna show you something super cute. How cute is this guy? We call this the chubby bunny photo, and every time Jacob's mum sees it, she's like, how many marshmallows are in his mouth? It's so cute. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. We can't wait to see you again soon. I can't wait for you guys to like watch him grow up. It's gonna be the cutest thing ever. Are we planning on having any more? Maybe one. I did say I only wanted 1 kid, but I really miss being pregnant and I would do this whole thing again. I love being a boy mum. I think I'll go into it in like a proper pregnancy video, but just that moment that I found out I was gonna be a boy mum when they said, it's a boy, I think I cried out, no, because I was adamant we were having a girl. But Arthur is named after my granddad, so that was really beautiful and special to share with my family. And yeah, I guess we'll probably just leave it there. And hopefully, if I can remember how to edit and sort this out and you see this on YouTube, then give us a massive thumbs up and subscribe because hopefully we'll have some pretty cool things coming soon. Anyway, bye guys, nice to meet you. We'll see you soon.